Yeah. Ask me a question to start it or something.
Where are you going and how are you feeling about it? Tell us about Vipassana.
Okay. So today I'm heading to Vipassana. It is a 10-day silent meditation course. No reading, no writing, no phone, obviously, no communication with anybody. And this will be the first time I'm doing anything like this. I've gone through like pretty extreme spiritual stretches and quantum leaps in my life, but this is the first time that I'm doing it through meditation. And this is a practice that I've kind of like my toes are in the water. I started meditating, taking it seriously like a year ago. So that means for me sitting 30 minutes to an hour every single day. I've missed a couple days, but really it's something that I actually stick to like 95% of the time. And yeah, this is gonna be life changing. I feel like the only thing that I can compare it to, and I feel like it doesn't even compare, is like sitting with ayahuasca 3 years ago. I feel like what does compare possibly is the extent to which I'm changed, hopefully. That completely like blew up my life. I left LA and left the relationship, left friends, moved to Atlanta, completely started my life over. I hope Vipassana doesn't blow up my life, but I'm here for whatever God has for me. I'm open to it. I'm just open to receiving. I feel like it's different from ayahuasca though, because there's a sobriety that comes with it. These are the best tortillas, by the way. There's a sobriety that comes with it, right? Because it's like with ayahuasca, although it is reminding you that the medicine is you, this is really like there's nothing external that you're engaging with or that is sparking this transformation. You're just sitting in silence, you're sitting in stillness, and you're just allowing things to come up from your subconscious, and you're bringing your awareness to those things, and I don't know exactly what that process of transformation looks like. I know in the plant medicine, it's like those things come to your awareness and you see the root of it and you're able to like transmute it because you finally get the opportunity to process. You know, maybe this is similar, maybe it's different. I'll have more updates on the other side. But yeah, I've been off social media now for 10 days. Because I got off September 1st in preparation for this. And I haven't felt the tug to be back on there at all. I was already like kind of posting and deleting the app off of my phone anyway, just because it's not the hangout spot. It's not a vibe like that. Instagram, I deleted all social media, but yeah. It's not a vibe like that. So I've already been kind of just off of it and I don't feel the tug. But what I want is for me to get to a point where I don't even think about how I release my art. Like, I think there's a art in how to release art, but I don't want the first means of release to be through Instagram all the time. I don't want that to be the default thought or the default platform so that I'm creating so that it can be optimized for that platform. I want the art to be optimized for the expression that's trying to come through. And if it happens to be for Instagram, then that's cool. But it might not be, and that's fine too. I feel like my creativity has maybe gotten a little stifled because of that. So I definitely want to reclaim that part of myself. And just dig deep into my patterns. I'm also officially a month locked. I was officially a month locked on September 7th. So all of the wisdom, hopefully, because I can't write anything down and I know these downloads are going to come through, hopefully all that wisdom just gets stuck into my hair. I feel like locking up at this time was perfect timing. As I just like transform, you know, I'm ready to like lock into this version of myself. So yeah, that's pretty much it. making a little breakfast. It's a 4-hour drive, about to hit the road. And I'm also just super grateful to my partner, Christian. I was talking to him about it yesterday, but like, this is the first relationship where I feel like all of myself is being shared. I feel like before, like historically, I've had to compartmentalize the like spiritual aspect of myself. Like when I went and sat with ayahuasca, I told my partner at the time that I was just going to like a wellness retreat, just like because I felt like I would be misunderstood, which ultimately in retrospect, I just tell the truth because that shit ended up blowing up in my face anyway. So I should just tell the truth from the get-go. Anyways, you know, you live and you learn, but I feel like this is the first time where I can explore my depths and I can look over and my partner is right next to me, or he's even deeper, like beckoning me to meet him there. And that's such a beautiful experience. And I'm getting emotional. That feels so good. Like, it just feels good to be seen, heard, felt in all capacities. And so he'll be facilitating or like he'll be helping on the course because he's done it like 12 times. And I'll be sitting the course. So yeah, we won't be talking or anything like that, but it's cool that he'll be there. And we'll have the long 4-hour car ride home to debrief this experience. And I'm just excited to introduce myself and to meet him on the other side of it and to meet y'all. We're here at Vipassana. We are pulling up to Vipassana. I am a little nervous, and this is the first time I felt nervous during this whole process. I've only felt excited, but as we were like 15 minutes away, my heart started beating fast. We're on the campus now, and I'm not gonna be the same in 10 days, probably in 1 day, but here we go. Vipassana. See y'all on the other side. I just got back from Vipassana. What a wild ride. 10 days of absolute silence, no cell phones, no talking, waking up at 4 a.m., meditating every single day. That's all we're doing. We wake up, we meditate, we eat, we meditate, we sleep, we meditate. That's it. Meditation, eat, and sleep for 10 days straight. I am a completely different person, and I'm so grateful for this experience. I'm excited to share about what it has done for me. I had a psychedelic experience completely sober. This is unlike anything that I've ever experienced in my life, and I'm just so grateful to know that I am the medicine. I am the medicine, and I've heard it said, but now I know through my own experience that I am everything that I've been looking for, every sensation, every craving, everything that I've sought outside of myself truly is inside of me. And I know that firsthand through my own practice, through my own experience, not through someone else's belief system, philosophy, something I read in a book. I witnessed it, and I continue to witness it every single day as I continue my meditation practice now that I'm back home, that it's all me. There's nothing outside of me that I need. And so I'll start with the daily schedule. So I'll just start with arriving there. I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. Like that first day pulling up to the campus, I was cool all the way until like 5 minutes before we got there. I could see like 5 minutes on the GPS. And when it got down to about 5 minutes, my heart started beating fast. I just started to feel this nervousness come over my body, and I was just trying to like stay mindful of my breathing. I was talking to my partner, Christian, and I was just letting him know. And I was like, oh, I'm starting to feel anxious. And he's like, okay, we're going to reframe that. You're just excited. There's no reason to perpetuate this narrative of anxiety or feeling anxious. This is just excitement. This is just the natural feeling that comes with doing something that you've never done before. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. So we pull up to the campus. It's absolutely beautiful. It's the beginning of September, and so the weather is really beautiful. We got there on September 10th. The weather is super beautiful, still sunny. There's like this lotus pond. We pull up to registration, and I have to like fill out a little questionnaire when I get there, and they let me know that I have to surrender my phone by 5 p.m. It's like 2 p.m. when we arrive. We arrived a little early because Christian was facilitating the men's side. And so on each side of the campus, it's divided by men and women. And that's just to reduce the amount of distraction and stimulation, because you are there to meditate. Like, they are taking away every external thing that you could place your focus and attention on so you can look inward, which is so important. And I'll explain why in a second. But he was helping to facilitate for the men's side. They have a course manager for the men and a course manager for the women. And so he's just like making sure everyone's there for the meditations, everyone's on schedule, on time, in place where they're supposed to be. There's about 35 men and 35 women. He's done Vipassana 12 times. So this is his thing. He's been going to Vipassana since he was 20 years old, and it's a huge part of who he is. And he just felt like it would be a good idea to course manage for my course since it was my first time going. And so that was a really beautiful experience, although I didn't get to like see him and talk to him at all for real during that 10 days. It was just nice to know that he was there holding the space and holding the container and, working behind the scenes, whispering to people, making sure that I'm okay, even if that's not something that I was aware of at the time. But back to the first day, we pulled up to registration. They let us know we have to surrender our phones by 5. I get my things out of the car, and I arrive to my dorm, or like my room, the place I'll be staying for 10 days. And I really liked it. I thought it was super cute. It was small. It was intimate, not a lot going on, but it was exactly what I needed. And I feel like I don't know if it's as a Scorpio or just my personality, but I'm okay with extended periods of quiet and isolation. I find a lot of peace in my own mind and in my own presence, and not having to manage and navigate external energies. And so for me, the 10 days of silence didn't really feel daunting, but I could definitely see how that would feel daunting if that's not something that is inherent to your personality. And so I got to my dorm, I unpacked my stuff, I chilled there for a while, and then around 4:30, I went and surrendered my phone. They put it in a filing cabinet with a number, and upon checkout, they looked at my name and the number that was associated with it and gave me my phone back. But at that time, they were just intaking all phones, wallets, keys, anything you wanted them to hold on to. They were intaking it. And then we had orientation at 6. Orientation was about an hour. They just went over the program, what it would look like, outlined everything, told us, where we would be at certain times, how we would know how to be there. There was like a gong that would be rung to let us know, like, oh, it's time to wake up, or it's time to go eat, or it's time to go to the Dhamma hall, which is the main meditation hall where we do our group sits together. And so we were just learning the ins and outs of the Vipassana course in the orientation. And then we had a dinner that night, and the food was bussin'. I'm not gonna lie, this was like 10 days of bomb food, which is like, I'm so glad, because we're stripped of any external stimulation as it is. So at least the food could be something to just like savor and feel good about. 10 days of no talking, no devices, none of that. And then bad food would have been it would have been actual torture. And so the food was so good. Definitely, like want to incorporate some of those recipes into my own cooking repertoire, because I'm quite the chef. It's not something that I've like really shared, but I be cooking. I eat 95% of my meals at home. I be cooking, I be baking, I be doing all the things. And so, yeah, the food was good. We had dinner, and then we had our first kind of like group sit. It wasn't our official first group sit. It was just like the introduction day group sit. So it was called day 0. So this isn't really part of the 10-day course, but we met in the Dhamma hall, I think around 7. And we had our first like group sitting together. And basically the group sittings are like all the men and the women are separated by sides in the Dhamma hall, but we all sit there collectively. There's a mat on the floor. Each of us gets like a mat on the floor with our name on it. And so we were seeing where we would go every time that we came back into the Dhamma hall, where we were placed. And then you can have your own cushions and pillows. They also have cushions and pillows available. They have some meditation stools. And just like a couple other things that you could choose from to try to get comfortable. But the whole point is to be kind of uncomfortable. And I'll get more into that as well. It's just like you can try as much as you want to try to make it a cozy experience. But the whole point is that you are facing your discomfort with an objective mind, with a neutral mind. And by facing your discomfort with a neutral mind, you're able to reprogram your subconscious to face discomfort with a neutral mind externally once you leave Vipassana. And so that's what the whole principle of the meditation is about. So, you'll see people like piling up pillows and piling up cushions, trying to get comfortable, but embracing the discomfort is truly where the growth happens. And that's not just isolated to the Vipassana experience. That's just in life. Like embracing discomfort, leaning into it, really dissecting it and getting to the heart of it is really what's going to allow you to ultimately transcend it and be stronger for it, and not allow it to move you and to sway you. Like staying true to yourself in the midst of discomfort is truly where strength is cultivated. So we had our first group sit, and then we went back to our dorms for a good night's sleep because, like I said, up at 4 a.m. So day 1, everybody kind of like set their alarm clock, even though the gong is like what indicates us to wake up. It's day 1. People are kind of like unsure of the gong situation. I'm not a super deep sleeper, so I didn't set my alarm because I felt like I would be cool with the gong, but I started hearing some alarms going off around like 3:45, and then I heard the gong at 4 to start waking people up. And then they ring the gong twice. They ring it once at 4 and once at 4:20 to let people know if you want to get up for the 4:30 meditation in the Dhamma hall, you can. Okay, so there's like 3 mandatory group sits every day. There's a morning group sit from 8 to 9. There's an afternoon group sit from 2:30 to 3:30. And then there's a evening group sit at 7 p.m. That's followed by an hour of discourse. You have to go to those. You have to be in the Dhamma hall for those. But there's also meditation times between that where you can meditate in your room or be in the Dhamma hall. One of those times is 4:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. and then breakfast is at 6:30. Me personally, I just leaned in. I'm here for growth. I'm trying to build the callus. I'm trying to get in there. And that was my mindset. It's like if I don't wake up early on day 1, 2, 3, I'm not waking up early on any of these days. I have to set my rhythm as soon as I get there. So I was like, I'm going to the Dhamma hall bright and early, 4:30 in the morning. I'm not going to meditate in my room because I'm really trying to maximize this experience. I didn't come here to look cute, win a trophy, say I did it. I'm here for my personal growth. That's just my personality. That's my path. That's how I am with myself. I don't negotiate with myself. And definitely best believe that your mind will try it. And that's something that you have to be aware of. Is like our minds are constantly trying to negotiate our comfort with us, even when we know that we have to do something that might seem uncomfortable. But your mind is trying to negotiate your comfort, and it's just creating resistance for yourself. And you really have to be the one in control and be like, no, I'm doing this regardless. I don't care what, these thoughts are saying. That's not even even me. I can look at them, I can observe them, and I'm grateful to have a mind that is able to think critically and produce thought. But ultimately, I have to stay in my awareness and recognize what it is that I want out of this experience. So I was up at the Dhamma Hall 4:30 every single day. I missed 2 days out of 10. All the other days besides that, because I was on my period, I was like, there was a couple days where I was just like really going through it. But yeah, I was at the Dhamma Hall 4:30 a.m. And those sits were actually so nice, because when you're like stripped of external stimulation and you're up at 4:30, you drop in so quickly into your awareness. You don't have to filter through all the thoughts and the like, what I have to do today and the conversations I had today and all of the mistakes I made and all the regrets, and like you just get straight into the awareness of your body. And so through the process of Vipassana meditation, you're becoming aware of your sensations. You're becoming aware of your natural vibration in your body. You're basically putting your mind to rest, like allowing it to subside. You're getting in your awareness and you're going inside and you're feeling yourself. And I recognize that I hadn't been feeling myself. Like my emotions were in my mind and in my heart, but there's a difference between being emotional and being sensitive. And I was sensitive, but I wasn't aware of my sensitivity. So I was feeling things, but I wasn't aware of my feelings. Like now that I'm back from Vipassana, I can literally feel the energy moving through my body all the time. My hands are tingling all the time. My feet are tingling all the time. And it's just the natural vibration that is moving through. But the philosophy behind Vipassana is that we're not able to feel our natural vibration because we're so attached to everything that's happening outside of us. We're attached to sensations and stimulation that's happening outside of us. But when you get in touch with your natural vibration, you recognize that you don't need anything outside of you. And that's actually what you've been desiring the whole time. And so these attachments to external stimulation are called sankharas. Basically, it's a craving, and you can have a really deep craving for something. Oh, I crave sugar super deeply, and it's not the sugar that I crave, it's the sensation that it gives my body. And so when you are sitting in meditation, this discomfort comes up, and you're retraining the habit pattern of your mind to not give into that discomfort, to not go unconscious and to move and to shift, because that's typically what would happen. It's like something uncomfortable comes up, you're in pain, and you just unconsciously move. But instead, you're staying there. And by staying there, holding your position, you're training your subconscious mind, which is really your entire body. It's your entire vessel. This is like a sensation machine. We're just made to feel, right? You're training it to not react from an unconscious place. You're observing the sensation instead of reacting to it. And so you're taking your power back. And by taking your power back, you're dissipating these sankharas, right? These attachments to craving. And basically by craving something, you're saying to yourself that I need something that is not available to me in this present moment. And by saying that you need something that's not available to you in this present moment, you're perpetuating your own suffering. It's like, I want something that I don't have right now. And because I don't have it right now, I'm perpetuating my own misery. I need. I'm clinging to a past relationship. I'm clinging to sugar. I'm clinging to food. Something great happened that is no longer happening anymore. I used to have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money anymore. I used to be in a beautiful relationship. That relationship is gone. My dog passed away. My parent passed away. My sibling passed away. It's like I am craving something that is not of this present moment. I'm craving an experience or something outside of myself that is not of this present moment. And it's created an attachment to this thing that is causing suffering because it's not here. And we're constantly living to reenact those sensations, to have those sensations going outside of ourselves to experience that sensation again. And so when these sensations come up in our bodies while we're sitting and we observe them with awareness instead of giving into them, we are retraining the subconscious mind to not go unconscious and react out of a desire to shift the sensation. We are just observing it and watching it. And what we find is that these gross sensations, these super painful sensations, like when your leg goes numb and it starts to hurt, what's underneath that is just a subtle, small vibration. It's just your authentic vibration. And slowly the sankharas, they're called sankharas, it's like these gross pains, these big pains, they rise and they leave out of the body. And again, you can just feel that flow of subtle vibrations, which is who you truly are. And so you're releasing these attachments, you're releasing these sankharas, you're releasing the habit pattern of your mind to seek outside of yourself. It not only comes from craving things outside of yourself, but having aversions to things outside of yourself, right? Having strong preferences that lead to aversions. No, I don't want this to happen. I don't want, get it away, get it away, get it away. And then when it does happen, you're creating misery for yourself because you're experiencing a sensation that your subconscious mind has told your body is unpleasant. And so you're automatically defaulting to creating misery for yourself and creating an unpleasant experience instead of just encountering things as they come from a place of neutrality. Encountering things as they come from a place of neutrality is the process of equanimity. That's what it's called in Vipassana, keeping an equanimous mind, being able to just observe things, to not say, ooh, I'm experiencing a flow of vibrations through my body. I want more of this. Creating an attachment or a craving to this. Or, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. Get this gross sensation off of me. Keeping an equanimous mind and being able to observe it all in the Vipassana space allows you to take that out into the real world. And Vipassana is built on this principle that everything is always changing. That is the law of nature. That's the number one law of nature, is that everything is always changing. And so when we cling to the way that things have been, or we want things to be a certain way, or we don't want things to be a certain way, we are operating against the laws of nature. And that's why we are creating misery and suffering for ourselves. And so Vipassana is a practice of allowing you to be in the present moment without attachment to how things should be, could be, how you want them to be, what you don't want to happen. It's just observing things as they are. That's what Vipassana means, to see things as they are. And it's just the most liberating experience. In this process, I realized that wellness work is liberation work. This is how we free ourselves. And I thought a lot about my history, coming into modeling, being known as an activist in the modeling space, and now how I'm in the wellness space, and how truly this is just the through line. This is just the natural progression of being an activist. The difference is, as an activist, you are stuck in that place of constantly wanting, needing something to change outside of you, instead of recognizing that the only thing you can change is yourself. And so you have to shift your focus from outside, where you are constantly creating misery for yourself in wanting other people, other systems, other things to change, to the inside, where you can find inner peace, equanimity, and experience life in the present moment. And that is the gift that we can give to other people as healers and wellness practitioners. We're not here to heal anybody. I also had this realization that so many wellness practitioners are stuck in cycles of addiction themselves because they're not getting to the root. They're not willing to sit with their discomfort. They're going from things that might be considered unhealthy, partying, like whatever, living in the 3D, whatever world, to things that are considered healthy, but they're not really getting to the root. And in doing that, they're just chasing sensations. Now you feel like you need that Pilates class. Now you feel like you need those sound bowls. Now you feel like you need those tarot cards, because you're chasing a sensation still. You've just changed what the source of that sensation is. It might not be the alcohol and the parties anymore. Maybe now it's the sound bowls and the Pilates class and all these other things that you think that you need. But there's nothing that you need outside of your authentic vibration. You just have to retrain your subconscious mind, the habit pattern of the subconscious mind, to stop seeking sensations outside of yourself. Recognize that your internal authentic vibration is enough to fill you. and that there's no other sensation that is going to make you feel as full and as whole as your own authentic vibration. There is a flow of divine energy that is flowing through every single thing in this world all of the time, animating every single thing in this world all of the time. God is moving through us all of the time, and yet we are so attached to everything outside of us, everything that we can see outside of us. We've become too inclined to rely on our eyes and not on our other senses. Our eyes have taken precedence as the main sense. And so what we see, the world that we see manifested before us, is how we've learned to accept it. We see things at face value instead of recognizing that there is a subtle current of energy that is happening underneath all of it. God is happening underneath all of it. God is animating all of it. And we have attached ourselves to wanting to obtain and secure instead of recognizing that everything is changing and that we have everything that we need, because this flow that is moving through us is moving through every single thing. We are one thing. This energy that is moving through me is moving through every single thing on this planet. And so I don't need to hold on to any one thing, any one experience. It's always changing. It's always changing. It's always changing. And the more that I can accept that, the more that I can come into the understanding that it's already here. It's a part of me. The energy is one energy, and it's flowing through every single thing. And so Vipassana just brings us to a state of presence, and oftentimes what we see, this gross reality, is not even the truth of the reality that's happening on a subtle level. I think we've gotten to this idea where there might be like a celebrity who has this IDGAF attitude, and we look at them and it's like, oh, they're so confident. And that's the expression, that's the gross expression of the reality. But the subtle vibration might just be that they just need validation and they just need acceptance. The more that they exploit themselves, the more that they appear that they don't care, but the more that they exploit themselves, it's coming from a place of, oh, I need to continue to remain in the spotlight. I need to continue to remain relevant. I'm actually feeding off of these people who are paying attention to me, and I'm just going to take it further and take it further. We see it on Instagram all the time. It's like we've gotten to this point where people are just pimping themselves out, just exploiting themselves, just burning themselves out to try to stay relevant. And it comes across maybe as like, oh, they're so poppin', or they don't care, but it's really coming from this subtle vibration of, I need validation. I need to be seen. I have to take it further. I have to take it further. I have to take it further. Now, I'm fully dressed, and now I'm wearing a bikini, and now I'm wearing no clothes, because everything is changing. And so are people's attention spans. The attention that I'm getting is changing. I have to continue to exploit myself further and further and further to feel that same satisfaction, validation, and approval that I was craving and maybe receiving when I wasn't fully exploiting myself. And that takes a lot of artists off the deep end. I even had to realize for myself that, in this game of social media, it's like I was creating from a place of thought. I was creating from this place of ideas instead of creating from my heart. And I recognized that I was overproducing. I was over-creating because I actually crave connection. I actually desire connection. I actually want connection. But because I'm creating from a place of thought, a place of ideas, instead of a place of feeling, because as I mentioned before, I wasn't sensitive to what I was feeling, then I might have to produce 10 pieces of content or 100 pieces of content just to get the same satisfaction of taking my time to create something from the heart as an artist that really connects and really gives me that satisfaction, not because of the external validation, but because it's an expression of how I feel. We live in an era of infinite thought. We live in an era of infinite thought, and the differentiating factor between people who have given up the art of living in exchange for efficiency and performance, in those who connect, it's coming from the heart. It's like there's going to be, success to some people looks like having to hire a bunch of other people to do the tasks that you don't want to do so that you can be more efficient, but you've lost the art of living. You're not cooking your own meals. You're not tending to your own house. You're not watering your own plants. What are you living for? To reach some proverbial finish line that you're never going to reach because you're connected to this ball and chain, and you're on this hamster wheel, and you're in this rat race of more, and you've completely lost connection to your own life and lost connection to humanity around you. There's going to be a time where connection becomes a commodity. Those who know how to connect with other people, and those who know how to connect from the heart space, those who know how to feel still because they're still connected to life, that's going to become a commodity. It's going to become so important because thought is infinite. Thought is infinite. Productivity is infinite because thought is infinite. But what about people who know how to slow down and feel? And I was like, I don't want to be on the hamster wheel of productivity. I want to be a person who knows how to feel. And if that means that I'm not constantly producing, if that means that my output, my flow of output doesn't match what is considered normal, standard, typical of someone who appears to be successful, that's fine with me. That's fine with me, because that one piece of art that I put out all year is going to hit so much more deeply, not just for other people, but for myself, than the thousands of pieces of content that might go out that kind of scratch the surface of human connectivity, but are more so from the mind and more so from a place of thought than a place of being, feeling, and deep connection. And so I'm just revising the way that I'm looking at myself as an artist and how I want to move forward in this world, and just recognizing that, like, how I feel about my life, how I feel in my day-to-day is so much more important than keeping up with some image or some expectation that doesn't even belong to me. You know, social media is really the new 9 to 5, if we're being honest. Like, and you don't even get to clock out from that shit. You literally have to be on. You've forgotten how to live because you're constantly worried about how you can capture the moment to share with other people. And your benchmark for success is how well you're able to capture a moment in your life versus how deeply you've felt it. And I've just realized, like, I haven't been feeling my life because I've been so busy trying to capture it and share it with other people. I'm trying to share memories before I even make memories. And that shit is sick. And we need to come up out of that. And so Vipassana was just like a huge eye opener for me of like distraction, priority, where I've been placing my energy. And it was just such a profound experience. And I spoke to before, like, plant medicine and just like how big of a shift that was for me in my life. And I would say this is right up there. This is right up there. Like, I had a psychedelic experience sober. I stepped out of meditation one day. I reached this state of meditation that they call Banga. Basically, Banga is like you feel that free flow of vibrations through your entire body. It's like the best feeling. It literally feels like you're making love to the universe. It's like I feel like vibrations are coming out of my ears, out of my mouth, out of every single pore of my body. It's like I am completely in a free flow and I'm feeling my own vibration so deeply. And I'm just like buzzing with this vibration. And like I stepped outside and I could just feel the earth like breathing. And it was just like everything that was animating me was animating the earth, right? This divine flow of universal energy is just animating everything around me. I'm in sync. The butterflies are like, doing their thing. This like cricket or grasshopper jumped on my leg, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go meditate. I go back in and meditate. I come back out. It jumps back on my leg, the same cricket, because it's like those are vibrational creatures, and so it's feeling my vibration as I have this like free flow of vibrations that's moving through my body, and I'm totally in sync with earth and nature and everything that's happening around me. And it was just this like absolutely beautiful, profound experience. And it really showed me that the missing link in the plant medicine space is meditation. Like, that is the integrative link that I feel like we are missing in that space. And I feel like that's why a lot of people get caught in cycles of trying to seek outside of themselves, even with something that is medicinal. Now, I'm a plant medicine advocate down. Like, I am such an advocate for plant medicine regardless, but I do think that we as wellness practitioners, plant medicine facilitators, shaman, we have to be more careful and more delicate in how we share these medicines and the aftercare that goes with them, because you're opening up people to this high vibration. They're being made sensitive to their own vibration, which is something else that I realized. It's like the medicine isn't doing anything to you but making you sensitive to your own vibration and clearing out the density of those attachments, similar to the Vipassana experience. But if you don't recognize that that is something that you can maintain and do for yourself, then you might get stuck in the pattern of believing that there is something outside of you that you need in order to get in touch with that vibration, instead of recognizing that this is something that you can do daily maintenance every single day to stay in touch with that sensitivity and the vibration of who you are. And I just know people who have been caught in cycles of seeking outside of themselves, thinking that they need to have these experiences over and over again because they don't have that integrative piece of meditation to recognize that they are able to sustain that level of vibration and sensitivity even outside of those plant medicine spaces. And so that was a big realization for me. Is just like, wow, we really have to start talking about this integrative piece, and B, this medicine is only doing for us what we are able to do for ourselves. And I think it can be great for a quantum leap. I think it can be great to open us up. I'm still such an advocate for it, but I now understand it from an intellectual level, and I can go into those plant medicine experiences with even more intention and wisdom that's going to allow me to partner with the medicine in more of a profound way and have an even more deep and prolific experience. So, that was a huge takeaway for me, especially someone who kind of like, I've had these big plant medicine experiences, and I've had the wild stories of going through plant medicine, but I think this is like the lived experience of doing it yourself. It's profound and it's different, and it just makes you realize, like everything in this experience, that there is nothing outside of you that is more powerful than your own vibration, and you have all of the tools to heal yourself. There is nothing that you need to seek after that is outside of you. And so I just kind of like went into all of that from day one, waking up that 4:30 meditation. We have a group sit at 7 a.m. every day 8 a.m. every day after breakfast. Breakfast starts at 6:30. It's like 45 minutes. You have a little rest, and then you have your first group sit. And after the first 3 days, you're doing Anapana, right? So basically you're practicing bringing your awareness to the triangle around your nose. You're sharpening your awareness. You're sharpening your focus, and you're becoming very sensitive to the vibrations and to the sensations. And so you're just practicing your breath. You're feeling your breath as it goes in. You're feeling the warmth. You're feeling the coolness of the air, the difference in temperature as it goes in and out. You're feeling the sensations around your nose. You're feeling the breath as it comes out and hits the area above your upper lip. And that's basically training your mind, training your awareness to become very, very sensitive. And then we move into the practice of Vipassana on the fourth day, which is taking that same awareness and being able to go part by part around the body and feel those subtle vibrations and sensations. And by the time we get to Vipassana, we start doing Aditan sits, which are sits of great determination. So the first 3 days you're sitting, we have our group sits, you're like allowed to move. It's obviously encouraged for you to stay still. But after we get into the Vipassana sits, the group sits that we have in the Dhamma hall, those are sits of great determination. And so for that hour, you are not supposed to move. You are supposed to sit still. And again, that's training the habit pattern of your subconscious mind to be able to observe discomfort objectively, equanimously, to not budge in the face of discomfort, to not go unconscious and be moving and squiggling around and all that stuff. It's like I'm able to just move through this and bring my awareness to it. And under that discomfort is actually the subtle flow of vibrations. That's just like a overlay, the gross reality that's on top of it. And so continuing to move through the day. After our first group sit, that's 8 to 9, and then you can go into your room and meditate, or you can stay into the Dhamma hall. During that time too, we would have time to ask the assistant teachers like any questions about the technique, or just like what we're learning, how we can be better, whatever, like understanding it more. And then we would have then we would have lunch at 11. Lunch was bussin'. Like I said, the food was so good. And then we would have a little bit of break time after lunch. Then we can either meditate in the Dhamma hall or in our rooms. And then we would have our next group sit at 2:30. This is another sit of great determination in the Dhamma hall, just going deeper into the practice. At this point, it's just like we're kind of doing the same thing every day. And then we have a break after that, and you can either stay in the Dhamma hall, go to your room, and then we have dinner. And then we have another group meditation, an hour of aditan, sit of great determination, just going deep into those vibrations. Basically, you start with scanning your body from the head to the toes, and then you can start from the toes to the head, and you're just going up and down and feeling those vibrations. Any places where there's numbness, you're just looking for sensation. And the more that you can get sensitive to the sensation, the more that you can get into your own subtle vibration. The sensation could be heat, the sensation could be perspiration, it could be an itch, it could be anything, but you're just observing it equanimously. You're training your subconscious mind not to react to it. After our evening sit, then we have our discourse, and Goenka, who is the person who created this Dhamma experience, this Dhamma Vipassana experience, is the one who gives lectures. He's actually passed away, and so the lectures are tape recorded, and so he gives discourses every day. He goes into the philosophy of it, but he really emphasizes that this is not like an intellectual exercise. We are here to learn through our own experience, through our own lived experience, what this Vipassana practice is about. The discourses are just to help contextualize it and for us to go deeper into our own practice. Then after discourse, we sit for like another 30 minutes, implement any of the changes or instructions or information he might have given during the discourse. That takes us to about 9 p.m., and then we're off to bed, lights out at 10 p.m. And we do this every single day for 10 days, up at 4:30 sit, breakfast, group sit, rest, lunch, personal sit in your room or in the Dhamma hall, group sit, dinner, like just every single day. The schedule is just the same every single day. And basically all you're doing is meditating, eating, and resting the entire day. That's it. And I found that by not taking in external stimulation for 10 days, not being on my phone, not talking, not having any new conversations, so much was coming up in my subconscious mind and my memories from my past. It was like I started remembering stuff from at preschool. Like I started remembering stuff that I had never, ever even recalled or thought was a memory. And we don't recognize like every single experience that we've had is recorded by our subconscious mind. Every single experience that we've had is recorded by our subconscious mind, and it's stored in the body. And so all this stuff starts coming up. And again, like Vipassana is not an intellectual exercise, so it's not really for you to like be in your mind just sorting through all these things. It's for you to feel the sensations in your body. You might not exactly know what a sensation is associated with, like what experience of a sensation is associated with, but you're just allowing the feeling to come and to go so that you're no longer seeking that feeling outside of yourself, or you're no longer refusing or averting that feeling outside of yourself, which is ultimately liberating yourself from the misery that would be caused from seeking that feeling or averting that feeling. And so, yeah, around the second day that I got there, I started my menstrual cycle, and that was like a huge thing for me because I have had really painful menstrual cycles, and this has been something that has really actually driven my wellness journey. It's like trying to cure this menstrual cycle pain because it's just been years of discomfort. And I was like, man, it's really crazy that this Vipassana experience is falling on my menstrual cycle dates. And so I started on like the second day, and it started with like cramps. I usually get like some stiffness and kind of like tightness in my legs too. And instead of like going into the aversion of those feelings, aversion of that pain, which is what I would try to go into, trying to like get away from it and like, oh, this is making me so miserable, and I'm only perpetuating my misery because I'm trying to get away from the pain. I actually went into the discomfort and I like examined it and broke it apart. And as I was examining it and breaking it apart, there were times where I was like, this is actually a very pleasurable experience, because underneath those gross sensations, underneath that pain is just the subtle vibrations. And I recognize that these are just emotions that want to be felt, right? Like so many women suffer from cysts and fibroids and polyps, and I myself have had like polyp surgery, and I've even suffered like a miscarriage, which is something that I've never like shared or spoken about. About a year ago, I suffered a miscarriage, and I just recognize that like this pain that we're feeling in our womb and in our uterus is just our womb and our uterus asking to be felt. But because we've gotten into this habit pattern of averting that pain, trying to get away from that pain for the sake of, just trying to feel good or trying to be productive, trying to keep up with capitalism, it's just getting pushed down. But our menstrual cycles are truly an opportunity every month to come into contact with all of the things that we haven't felt so that we can purge them. And so as I began coming into contact with all of the things that I hadn't felt, I began to release, right? I began to bleed, but I was releasing like clots, blood clots. I bled for 8 days. Like I did not stop bleeding until 8th day or 9 of Vipassana. I think someone might be worried. I wasn't worried because I had this innate intelligence of my connection to my body and what was happening. And I was just like, this is just emotion that has clustered and that is taking up space. And I understand, I have a greater understanding of why that miscarriage may have occurred. I feel like for the first time, I feel like I'm talking about it now. I'm even able to talk about it now because I've made peace with it, because I understand anicca. I understand change. I'm not clinging. I feel like there was this part of me that was still subtly like, I should have had that baby. There was this part of me that was like still attached to that experience and kind of like wondering what life would be like now if I did have that baby. And I think like the gross part of me, the overt part of me, the visible part of me, the part of me that I was acknowledging consciously was just like, yeah, everything happens for a reason. I trust God. I trust my path. But like the subtle sensation underneath that was like this desire for a particular outcome. And I think even the desire for a particular outcome was preventing me from becoming pregnant again, it was that space was just occupied with clinging instead of being available for a new experience to happen. And so I recognized that even with the miscarriage, it was like, I don't have the space to actually cultivate anything because I'm carrying so much already. Before the miscarriage, relationships that I had to let go of that I maybe didn't fully let go of. I remember the first day I'm meditating and I'm starting to like feel the premenstrual cramps, and I'm just like looking at my womb in my awareness, and I hear this name pop up in my head. I'll just say like Michelle. I'm like, who's Michelle? And then I see the face of Michelle, and I'm like, yo, Michelle is the girl that a man that I really liked was in love with like a decade ago. And he wanted to be with her, and I wanted to be with him. And I never let go of that. That is still, my craving for that experience is still alive in my womb. And this is preventing me from being able to have new experiences in my present life, or it's informing or coloring the experiences that I'm having in my present life, because this is the habit pattern of my subconscious mind that I am unaware of. This stuff is so deep, and it's not just in our own lifetimes that's programming our patterns. This is like lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes of experiences that are trapped in our bodies. And so these sankharas that I spoke to earlier, it's like we might release the sankhara and get to a place of bhanga. We feel the free flow of energy through our bodies, but then more sankharas come up and rise to the surface that we have to work through. This is an ongoing process. I had to realize when I got to that place of bhanga and feeling that free flow of sensations that I almost formed a sankhara by trying to cling to that, because everything changes. The next sit that I was in, I started to feel some back pain, and I was like, damn, like I just got to this place of feeling good, like I'm trying to get back there. And in doing that, I was creating my own suffering for myself, because I just wasn't accepting the moment that I was in, because I was trying to relive a past moment that felt good to me. And so, just coming back to this principle of change and just being present. Like, I think Vipassana has just brought me back into my heart, brought me back into my feeling, brought me back into the present moment. And I'm just so grateful to be where I am right in this moment, who I am in this moment. And I'm just like cherishing life more, because everything does change. And I think we don't realize that, like, we have such a beautiful and profound opportunity to connect deeply with the people and the things around us and with our lives. And we are so willing to trade that in order to gain things of this external world, which will ultimately be taken from us anyway. It doesn't make sense that we're willing to trade just our life experience just for things of this external world that are ultimately going to fade. But what doesn't fade is the love and the connections that are made here, and the experiences that your soul gets to have, that your consciousness gets to have during your time on this planet. So I'm so grateful for Vipassana. I've been back for a week now. It's Sunday. I returned last Sunday, and I've been meditating 2 times a day. It's recommended that you meditate twice a day for an hour in the morning, hour at night. Before I got to Vipassana, I was meditating daily, but I wasn't doing twice a day. And I'm just grateful because I now recognize like what I was missing, like I just wasn't sensitive, and I don't want to lose this sensitivity. So I'm like doing what it takes to like remain sensitive so that I can continue to encounter life in a profound way. It's making me more psychic. It's making me more aware. It's making me more attuned. It's making me more connected to the subtle energy that is happening underneath everything, the pulse of life, the flow of divine energy. And so I'm just grateful. This experience is not for everybody. If you're going to look cute, if you're going to get a trophy to just say that you did it, to make a YouTube video about it, to put it on Instagram, this is not for you. You have to be serious about your healing, because it's not fun. It doesn't feel great. Like you're experiencing pain. You're confronting discomfort every single day. But if you are ready for something that is going to grow you, that is going to deepen your roots, that is going to stabilize you so that you can grow upward, then this is absolutely the thing for you. And I'm just grateful to have this experience and to be able to share about it. And I pray that this video finds those who are meant to have this experience and hopefully inspires them on their journey. So that is my Vipassana experience. Thank you so much for tapping in with me. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will be back with more info, snippets, and tidbits as I continue to process this experience. Peace.